Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Get Your Play Online. My name is Maddie, and today we're going to be creating crayon school photo frames. So, if you have a school photo from this beginning of this school year, you might be getting them back right about now. It would be really fun to create some frames to kind of showcase those. So, this is what it's going to look like in the end. Before we get started, we're going to want to make sure that you have all your supplies ready. And those are going to be, let me get them here, one second. So those are going to be colored popsicle sticks. So I have red, but as you can see here, I used green in the last one. So we're going to use some colored popsicle sticks. If you only have the kind that are brown, the more typical color, that's okay. You could color on them with markers to make them a color for our crayon base. So if you don't have colored ones, that's okay, but if you can find them, that might make it a little bit easier. We're also going to need scissors, and make sure that you have a parent or a helpful adult around if you need some help using scissors. We're also going to need some paper that either matches the popsicle stick color that you have or a colored paper that you want to color those brown popsicle sticks that you have. And then you might want a drawing utensil like a pencil to trace. And then I'm using a permanent marker, a dark black permanent marker, but you could use just regular markers, and you could use any color that you want. And then also you're going to need tape or glue. So those are all of our materials. Let's get started. So first we are going to, one second, just gotta clear my workspace here. First, we are going to line up our popsicle sticks with the ends going side to side. So that's called horizontal. So we're going to line them up with the ends going side to side. So I'm going to line them up here. Here, I will show you my workspace. So we're going to line them up going side to side. And I do, oh, you know what I realized? I forgot to mention one more of our materials, which is the school photo. So if you have a printed out school photo, that will work perfectly because we're making a frame for that. Sorry, that slipped my mind. Okay, back to our first step. So like I said, we are going to line up a bunch of those popsicle sticks from going side to side. So I've found that about 8 popsicle sticks usually works best for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that usually fits my photo best. But depending on the size of your popsicle stick and the size of your photo, you might need more or less. So just kind of look at, place your photo on top and see how much you might need. I could probably do 7 too, but I like to make them nice and big. So we're going to have those lined up. And now we are going to place 2 popsicle sticks going the other way. So these are going side to side. I'm placing 2. They can be the same color or different. I'm using a different color so you can really see them stand out here. So we're going to place them the other way, their ends going up and down instead of side to side. And we're going to place those on the back of them to kind of secure all of these popsicle sticks in place. So I'm going to make these red ones line up nice and straight, and then put these on the back once I like how they're placed to make them nice and secure and keep them held together. So I'm going to put those where I want. And now, since these are in place where you want them, we're going to use tape or glue to put them in place. So I'm using tape because I find that it's a little bit quicker than glue. I don't have to wait so long for the glue to dry. But if you want this to be extra secure, a glue stick or a glue bottle might work a little bit better. As you can see, this one just kind of came up a little bit, so we're just going to have to keep working with it and see what works best. So I like to tape both of these on in a lot of different spots so that it's nice and secure. So we don't want any of the sticks to fall off or our photo to not have a really secure background. So, and again, if you're using glue, just make sure you're gonna let it dry before you go to the next step here. But since we're doing this together, I wanted to make it a little bit quicker, and I found that tape on this one that I made worked just fine. But as you can see on this one, I used a lot of tape. So I'm gonna just keep taping here. And I'm kind of going back and forth on which side I'm taping. And I'm making sure I'm taping along the little creases in between each popsicle stick. Because again, we're wanting these two yellow ones, or whatever color you're using, to keep these red ones in place and make a nice frame. So again, I'm just keep taping these on. I've got about 2 more to tape on, and I'm just alternating which side I'm adding these onto. I'm pressing down really hard so that it's nice and secure. We want to make sure that none of these fall off. So I think, yep, okay, so mine, as you can see, when you flip it over, so this side has all of the tape on it, and when you flip it over, you can shake it around, none of these are going to fall off. So I added a bunch of tape on the back here. These are securing our red ones in place. So this side without the tape is what's going to serve as our frame. So now this is our crayon base, but crayons have a nice little triangular tip. So that is what we're going to use this red paper for. So I like to put the paper down on my workspace and then put these on top. Let's see, can you see those? So that I can measure with my pencil where the ends of my, where the ends of my popsicle sticks are. So I make a nice little mark on both of those. And then I draw a triangle. So I kind of find the center here and just make a little point at the top. And now I'm going to draw lines from this side and this side to the middle to make a nice crayon triangle top. So I just made a line that way and a line going this way. And since you put this on top of the paper, you'll know that this triangle will fit. So let's see, can you see that? The lighting is a little bit weird here. There we go, it's a little bit better. So I drew I'll go this way too. I drew a triangle. Oh, it's hard to see. There we go, now you can see. Drew a triangle on the top of this, and I used the 2 ends to measure. So now that we have that, we're going to cut the triangle out. And that's going to be our crayon top. So I'm going to let you see my workspace here again. I'm going to move these away really quick. So I'm going to draw a little bit down from the triangle, just so there's enough space to tape. Now that we have that drawn, we're going to take our scissors. And remember that if you have a little bit of a hard time cutting, that is totally okay. Make sure that you ask an adult to help you with this part. We do not want anybody to get hurt using their scissors, so only use these scissors if you definitely know how to. And you don't feel too nervous or like it would be a little bit too tricky. So I'm going to cut this triangle out nice and slow. Just cutting on those lines that I made before. And this is going to be, like I said, our crayon top. So when you get a nice new crayon with a pointy top, this is what it's going to be on our own crayon. So I'm going to go back and get this crayon base that I have, and I'm seeing that this one is a little wiggly. So you know what? I'm going to add some more tape right now. And sometimes that happens with crafts. So you don't do it perfectly on the first try, and that's okay. So I'm going to add some more tape to make sure it's nice and secure. Ooh, having some trouble there. Let's get a different piece. So again, I'm just going to add some more tape here. If you did your taping nice and thoroughly before, or you let your glue dry, you might not be running into the same problem. But if you are, that's okay. You can always add some more. Okay, there we go. Now it's a little bit better. So I have my crayon base, and now we have our crayon top, and we're going to tape it down so that we have a nice crayon top. So as you can see, I had a little bit of these top two yellow sticks pointing out, and I found that if I just stick my crayon top right into the little crease in between those and these red ones, it fits really nicely, and I can flip it around to the back and tape on the back side instead of the front. That way our frame just looks a little bit more neat. So I'm going to tape this on just the same way I taped before, where I go onto the paper, over the stick, and then back onto the other side of the paper. And again on this side, we're going to go take the tape off, or glue if you're using glue, and I'm putting it on top of the stick, and then squishing it down to the sides of the paper. And you know what, I'm going to add a few more pieces because, like you saw before, sometimes you need a little bit extra to make sure it's nice and stuck on there. So this time I'm putting it top to bottom instead of side to side. Okay, here we go. Adding another piece. So I have it nice and secure. That top isn't going anywhere, and when we flip it over, it is nice and secure to our crayon base. So you might have seen on some crayons that they have a little, let me get my other example to show you. You might see on some crayons that they have this little design at the top. I think it's Crayola brand that usually has this design, but I thought it would be a cute little addition to add onto our frame. And so I'm going to use my permanent marker for this, but if you're afraid of getting messy on your hands, or you don't want the permanent marker to get on your clothes, you can definitely use just a regular marker, or even crayons might work, or paint. So whatever you're kind of feeling, but I'm going to be using this permanent marker. And we're going to draw two squiggly lines in the middle of our crayon. Let's see, this might be a better way to show you. So I'm drawing a squiggly line towards the bottom. And then, now that I have this squiggly line, I'm going to draw another one on top of it pretty close, following the exact same squiggle. And so we've got two squiggly lines. And as you can see, this doesn't quite yet look like this. So we're going to color in the top and the bottom of the squiggly lines with black. Oops, not this one. So I have this one, and we're going to color the tops and bottoms black. So under the bottom squiggly line, and only on this first popsicle stick. So you're not moving down to the second popsicle stick. Right now, we're only doing it on the top one. So I'm coloring underneath this, nice and black. So that it looks like a real crayon. So as you can see, I've colored the bottom black, but now we have to do the top of this line above the top squiggly line black as well. So I'm going to do the same thing, but on the top of the squiggly line. Sometimes it helps me to trace that line first so that I don't get any black inside of where I want it to stay red, which is that new little squiggly line we're creating in the middle. I hope that my explanations are making sense here. I think with the visual it might help, but I just keep saying squiggly line, huh? Okay, so we just keep coloring that in with our marker or your crayon or paint. So we have this top one now, all complete. And as you can see on my example, this one also has one on the bottom. So we're going to do the same exact process on the bottom popsicle stick. So again, we're going to draw one squiggly line, and another one out below it, following the exact same ups and downs. And now we're going to color above and below this line all black. It's a very interesting texture to color on wood. I don't think I've ever colored on wood before doing this activity. I like the sound that it makes. It's kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm sure you all can hear it. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think, if it's kind of fun to color on new things other than just paper. Sometimes I think it's nice to try new ways to do art. So keep coloring in above and below until you have just one squiggle in the middle so that it looks like a real crayon. Sorry, almost done here. I hope that, oops, let's see, I'll move this back so you can see. Okay, so now we have a full crayon. Now, if you wanted to, you could stop here and just put your picture right in the middle and tape that or glue that on, and you would have a full crayon-shaped frame right here. But I thought it would be a little bit fun to also make the crayon wrapper with paper. So I made a little paper cutout around my picture, and I wrote Maddie's graduation on the side because I actually graduated from school this year. But you could write whatever school year you're going into. So you could say, Maddie's first day of first grade, or even just first grade, whatever you wanted to on the side. So again, you can stop here and just put your picture right on and you would have a fully finished frame. But if you want to take another step, I am going to make that crayon wrapper. So I'm going to use my pencil again to kind of mark out what size I need here. So I'm going to mark where I want the paper to end on the side and where I want the paper to end on the top. And I'm going to cut that out. So I'm going to cut that paper to make the nice little wrapper. And again, if you need help using scissors, that is more than okay. Make sure that you ask an adult to help you with this step. Okay, so I just cut out my crayon wrapper. I'm going to tape that to the to the frame. And I'm going to do that by making a little loop with the tape. So I have the two ends, and I have the sticky ends on my fingers, and I'm going to move the sticky ends up to stick together like a little circle. And I'm going to put that on my paper, and then it sticks to the paper, and when you flip it over, it'll stick right to the crayon frame. That's a nice little trick I've learned. So that way you don't have to tape on the sides and see it. So now you're going to take your cut out picture. So I have this one here. You could put it in the middle if you want, or you could put it on the side, or if your picture goes side to side instead of up and down like mine, you could put it at the bottom or the top and write the words on the top or bottom instead of on the sides of the picture. I'm going to go with the side for today. So I'm going to take that tape, make another loop like I showed you. So I have the sticky sides on my fingers. I move the sticky sides upwards like a circle, and I stick them together to make a little loop. I'm going to put that on the back of my photo and stick my photo right down onto the paper. And now it kind of looks like my photo is on a crayon wrapper. And I'm going to write on the side maybe the grade I'm in. So I'm going to give you an example that isn't the graduation example. So if you wanted to write first grade, I'm going to switch it to the side here and write, let's see, I'm going to write first grade, and I'm going to do that with numbers for the first instead of letters. So I'm going to write a 1, and then you're going to write a little R, S-T, or you can just write S-T as well. And then you're going to write grade underneath, which is spelled G, R, A, D, E. So grade is spelled G-R-A-D-E. I'll show you my example here. First grade. And if you need some help with spelling or writing, you can also ask an adult for help with this step. Or like I said before, you don't have to write anything at all. So you could just put the photo right in the middle. But I just thought it might be a nice little touch to add this first grade on here, or whatever grade you're going into, whatever one your school photo is from. And that is all, friends. So this is our finished crayon-shaped school photo frame. I really hope that you enjoyed creating this with me. I hope you have a great day and a great start to your school year. Bye, everybody. See you next time.